Hello and welcome to Sweet Spot DFS. This is a preview for the 2020 ZOZO Championship. This tournament is the first time being played, so we have no course history, which means the video should be a little shorter than usual. If you guys watched the review video of the CJ Cup, I apologize for bringing up the skins portion of it. I didn't realize that it was a kind of a prelude to the tournament. So there is no additional game that's being played other than the tournament. I thought there might be, there isn't. It's a limited field, so there's, again, like last week, there's 78 golfers. There is no cut, so we want to find scorers, basically. Yeah, and I mean, I think really the only thing we're going to be talking about is probably going to be, you know, grass stats and maybe some swing stats, but let's go ahead and talk about the course information. Right away, what I do want to say is I know I used the same Hideki photo from last week's video, if you guys were paying attention. The reason I use it again is because this is a Japanese tournament. I liked him last week. I don't so much care for him this week, but since it's in Japan, it's the first time a PGA Tour event, I just thought it was fitting to put Hideki as the thumbnail. So, and it also saved me a little bit of time. So that's also why I did it. Anyways, course information. It is, I mean, the full term is like the Accordia Golf Narashino Country Club. I think like the Accordia Golf is a golf company, and that's what's running the country club. I don't think it really matters. It's a par 70, 7,100 yards. It's going to play a little shorter because I think it's a little bit at altitude. It's played in a town called the Greater Chiba, or Greater Chiba, Japan. Chiba, Japan for sure. I mean, that's what's on the PGA website. It's the northern part, I think, of Tokyo. I know it's in Tokyo, and it's the greater portion of Tokyo. I can't remember if it's like the northern side or whatever. We'll just go with that, you know, just to be confident with what we're talking about. There are Bentgrass greens, but it's Zoysia rough and fairways. It's the first time that Zoysia's really been in the rough. We've seen it a bunch of times in the fairways. Zoysia actually makes a ball sit up. So as a ball kind of trickles onto the grass, usually sometimes it just falls in the grass. But as this will go across, it'll stand on top. So it's going to be a little interesting because there will be a lot of flyer lies. And I think if there's any kind of play with altitude, and maybe there isn't, but it could turn out to be some mishits here and there, but I'm not going to focus on that. I don't think you guys should focus on that. We just care about Bentgrass. And the designer of the golf course, we're never going to see him. I just threw it on there. It's information. Let's go ahead and look at the spreadsheet. I have the lineup construction sheet up. We'll go ahead and go to the notes page. Again, we have the information up top. This, I am sorry, this is not true. What is it, 7120? So one thing I forgot to mention about the golf course, I guess I can just call out that it is a tree-lined golf course. I mean, every hole is tree-lined, and it's tight. It kind of is reminiscent of like Harbor Town, but I think this is more of your traditional golf course. I don't know how I feel about Harbor Town being a traditional golf course. That is like stiff trees that knock balls down. If you're not hitting fairways, you're not scoring. I think you can get a little off kilter here and do just fine. So I'm not gonna. Accuracy is going to be a huge component. If I'm going to be targeting a lot of ball strikers. And a lot of just known accuracy guys. My stats aren't going to show that, but I'll talk about some of those guys. What you're going to see at this golf course is if you get a chance to watch, you're going to see a lot of holes that have 2 greens to them. Not every hole has 2 greens to them, but most of them do. And actually on hole 4, they're going to be playing the 2 greens twice during the tournament. I don't know how they're going to separate it. I don't know if they're going to do, green A 2 times or green B, or like back to back. So Thursday, Friday, they'll probably do it that way. Now that I think of it, I think they have to. No, they don't have to. I don't know. Maybe they'll alternate just so everybody gets a chance to play the 2 different types of greens. But that's the only hole they're going to do that for. The reason that there are 2 greens here, it is a tradition, I think, in Japan. At least this is what I was reading, that they have greens set up for the summer and greens set up for the winter. It's very but it's very, very expensive because they're maintaining both greens throughout the year. I think they allow like whatever the season that the green isn't in. I think they maintain them just to keep them alive and then healthy into the changing of season. So when it becomes their season for those greens, they're just perfect right away. That's, you guys don't need to know anything about that. It's knowledge, I suppose, if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, I don't see, maybe some guys mishit it and find themselves on these greens and then play off of them. It's a possibility, but if you watch, that's I just wanted to give you that information. Okay. I think that's it. I don't need to talk about the golf course anymore. Again, we don't have course history. We can sure look at the recent form. We do have a bunch of golfers coming here from the CJ Cup. I didn't mean to put F there. Let me get the back on that. There's not much recent form for a lot of these golfers. I think when we come down here and see Sungjae and a lot of the golfers down here, we have a bunch, but no one at the top. And I think you're going to find the winner somewhere up here. I mean, these are PGA tournaments. They're not European tournaments, which I think probably matters a little bit. I know Paul Casey's been playing on the European Tour. I know Rory McIlroy's been playing. Matthew Fitzpatrick has been playing on the European Tour. So I don't really know exactly. Well, I shouldn't say really know. I don't know how they finished in those tournaments. I know Paul Casey has a win somewhere in the last 5 weeks, or last 7 weeks. I just don't know if it really matters throwing it in here. Maybe it does. We'll see who finishes at the top. If we see no European golfers, then I'm not going to care about it going into next year's tournament, because I think this is here until 2025 or 2027, one of the two. So we'll see this tournament at least for the next 6 years. So recent form, I really have nothing. We can't even look at past year's recent form. So right away, boom, into the DK page. Only 8 minutes have gone by. So that's a good sign, right? For a shorter video. I've color coded the players here. I typically do this based off of the last year bucket. I just put a score. From what I feel like matters. I do think playing last week is going to matter a bit more than not playing last week, especially when they're very close. I wouldn't say similar golf courses other than the Bentgrass part of it, but I think just being in the same region, essentially, it's gonna help out. I do believe. So I do like Justin Thomas this week quite a bit. Actually, you know what? I have tee times. Let's go through the tee times. Totally forgot about that. And I have not looked at this. So right away, I like Abraham Answer and Adam Hadwin. They're both... Well, Adam Hadwin is an accuracy guy, and he's a really good putter. And on bent-grass greens. So I think Adam Hadwin plays really well. I might have him in 80% of my lineups, honestly. And I do like Abraham Answers playing with him. He's a streaky golfer. He's going to make birdies in bunches, and that's kind of who we want to target. So I really like Abraham Answer right off the hop. Don't really care so much for these guys. I do like Ches. I do like this group as like a B tier group. They should be able to make birdies, and they're all relatively decent on Bentgrass. Howell, I think, might be better than the other two. Reevy's the worst. I know that for sure. So either Piercy's better than Howell or Howell's better than Piercy. Either way, should be fine. This is another good tier B or tier 2 group. I like Kevin Na, especially on Bentgrass. Kevin Kisner's not really known for Bentgrass results, and Paul Casey used to have stronger Bentgrass stats last year. I think he had a couple poor finishes in the 2019 season to make his Bentgrass not so great. So I guess I don't really know how to take that. I'm not going to play a lot of Paul Casey, but he's going to be there in some of my lineups. I do like Max Homa, and pairing him with Putnam. Putnam's phenomenal on Bentgrass, so I'm probably going to be playing him. This is a group I really like. These are all low price golfers, and you'll see them above here as they go by in either my low price. I think 2 of them for sure are my low price. I think Matthew Wolff is considered a mid price guy. Maybe Corey Connors is as well. Either way, I like this group a lot. I think they're going to play off each other. So Matthew Wolff is in the mid price, so the other 2 are in the low price. Okay. And that's not even looking at the tee times. So the fact that they're here, I only see Berger. I don't see Corey Connors. I must have skipped past him. I did look at Corey Connors and thought to myself, he might be a good play. So keep that in mind. Oh my God. I like that group also. I didn't mean to say that. I like Sung Kang at his price. And if you're going to pair him with Fratelli, who's been pretty darn hot throughout this beginning season, Adam Long ends up being streaky, but I swear his golf swing is one of the most consistent golf swings on tour. I don't know what his downfall is at the moment. I think it's his short game, putting and chipping. So if he doesn't hit the greens, I don't think he's getting up and down as well as usual. But that's kind of more speculation on my part. I'm not positive on that. I really like Jason Day this week, and I think pairing him up with Tony Finau is actually a solid play. It's a solid move. I'm just going to put those 2 there. I don't care for Patrick Reed. I'm probably not going to play him. I don't think he's going to negatively affect Jason Day or Tony Finau, so I don't think that really matters. I don't like this group at all. I'm going to stay away from this group. Sergio did not play well last week. Pairing him up with Bubba, who's kind of a loose cannon, to go along with Sergio, I don't care. Graham McDowell might get out of that unscathed. We'll see. But I don't like the group, so I'm not going to mark it as a group I like. I don't care for this group either. Tiger Woods is a favorite golfer of mine, but in this tournament, for how rusty he looked, I just don't care. And Fleetwood, he's going to do his own thing. I wouldn't deter from playing Fleetwood. If you like him, then play him. So keep that in mind. I like Sungjae. I don't know about who he's playing with. I like Rio. Rio was a up-and-coming Japanese star prior to Hideki making his start, before he became a star. So this being a Japanese tournament, and the fact that really Rio hasn't played a lot of PGA events in the last 2 years, I kind of like Rio, honestly. I think out of all the golfers that got sponsorship, what is it called? Dang it. Exemptions. I do like Rio the most. So I'm going to keep that in mind. I don't care. Danny Lee had a second place last week. I don't know if that's going to translate over here. I would like to think that it will, especially for a golfer like Danny Lee. I just don't know. I don't have the most trust in it. And he's going to be higher priced than he was last week, which was almost the bare minimum. Don't care about that group. I do like Grillo, and pairing him up with Moore, Grillo. Pairing up with Moore might be a good one. I don't know who Horikawa is. Obviously, you can assume he's Japanese. I just don't know, really. I do like Victor Hovland this week, and it's Hovland, not Hovland. Anybody watching this, please note it's Hovland. I don't know how I feel about Vaughn Taylor. Put it that way. Like, I like Vaughn Taylor. He just doesn't have the greatest Bentgrass stats. So I really don't know much more than that. Like, I don't know how to take that. So I'm not really gonna play much. Okay. Sorry, rambling. Got a little distracted here. Victor Hovland, playing him. Not gonna really care about the other two golfers. I like Ben An and Matthew Fitzpatrick. I really like Pat Perez and the fact that he's with Siwoo Kim. I kind of like that as well. CT Pan is a high-ranked golfer who has decent Bentgrass stats, so we'll give this like a tier 3 grouping. This is like one of the most boring groups that might actually play well together. I think Billy Horschel with Keegan Bradley is a good pairing. Holy moly, didn't see this all-star group here. Yeah. I guarantee you more people are going to be on Matsuyama and Scott. I would advise you to play Speith. This is a course I think Speith is going to eat up. When we get to his stats, I want to show you something that is kind of very, very intriguing. We'll get there. I like Joaquin Niemann. Keith Mitchell has decent Bentgrass stats. It might be worth playing, and the whole group together might be worth playing. I just don't know. Here's another Dynamite group. Thomas riding his win from last week, I think, is a really good play. Matching up like with Rory, I think this group right here, honestly, is going to, as long as someone doesn't have a blow up, like a round where they're just awful, fighting an injury or something like that, I think this group is going to prosper. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those golfers. It's going to be hard to roster all of them together. You're probably going to have to do a Rory Xander or a Thomas Xander type of lineup. And if maybe, I don't know. I like Rory a lot. This is a really good group too. This is really sneaky good. I really like Poulter and Palmer. And wow, 3 Ps. Man, this is another good group. This is kind of a sneaky group down here. I don't know too much about that group or this group. I mean, Glover and Oosthuizen might play off each other. I don't know. There's a lot of good groups. Let's put it that way. So anyways, let's go ahead and get in the DK page. Go through some other things. We can look at the official world golf ranking at some of these guys down here at the bottom, because that's all that really matters. We know everyone that's up at the top. One of your lower price guys who has a decent golf ranking is Sang. His name might just all be one, like Sang Hyung Park, but I'm not positive. Most of the time I see a hyphenated name, when it comes to these Asian golfers, so I think it's hyphenated. At least everything that I've always seen has been that way. Odds aren't the greatest, but not terrible. CT Pan, 58th ranked in the world. Definitely him and this Sean Norris, who I think is an English golfer. Two guys that have the best world golf ranking down here, 6,200 or less. But I'm not advocating you to play any of those golfers. So that was the golf ranking. I don't really want to go through too much of it. Bubba, down here 6,800. Abraham Answer down here at 6,700. They're 41st and better, so really they might have a little bit better value, I guess. Yeah. I'm not gonna go through everything like that. So let's hide odds to value. I'm going to hide recent form as well. Last week as well. Okay. Let's go ahead, hide all those. Let's get into our Bentgrass. Well, really the grass stats. So I will sort here, and you will see all the golfers that have, you know, the lowest overall bent stats. Again, the names that you see that go across don't include Victor Hovland or Colin Morikawa, again, because they don't have enough Bentgrass events. I think 2019 pretty decent, you know, because both of those golfers all had all of their Bentgrass stats from 2019 on. So I think the 2019 we can include them, but for for overall, I don't really want to. And you saw it last week. Victor Hovland did not finish inside the top 10, nor did Colin Morikawa. And I think that could happen this week, but I do like Hovland's chances of playing this golf course really well. I think this will suit his game decently. But anyways, here you have it. I like a lot of these golfers, to be quite honest. I am going to try. There we go. I was going to try to find the asterisk button because I can't see my keyboard currently. I like Hovland. I like Day. I like Matsuyama. So, like, I like a lot of these golfers. I'm not going to play Morikawa. I do like Finau. I like Scott. I like Sungjae and Thomas. And I like Ian Poulter, Neiman, Paul Casey, and Daniel Berger. I do like Tommy. Anyways, so I'm just gonna star all these golfers over here. They are golfers I do like this week. And here you go with Abraham Answer. I do like him as well. I like Xander. He's got a good mark. Super high volatility, but this is a limited field, and I don't see the risk really in playing Xander this week. I think he's going to get a lot of birdies, to be quite honest. And then 2019, basically the same golfers. Gary Woodland pops up there. So does Louis Oosthuizen and Patrick Reed. I don't know. I don't really care to play any of those guys. Here's Corey Connors down here. Not the greatest overall, and really not the greatest 2019. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it like that. So I'm going to star those golfers. I think I'll star Andrew Putnam as well. But those are the only golfers I'm going to star and really take a good look at. Going down here, Jordan Spieth. I told you I liked Jordan this week. And it's because he has one of the highest birdie or better percentages. That's why. So you mix birdie or better percentage with his Bentgrass stats, I think it's a hell of a play. I don't even know if you can go wrong playing Jordan Spieth. Well, that's untrue. Okay. You can go wrong playing Jordan Spieth if he gets 6th place or worse, honestly. So you have to feel confident he's going to get a top 5 finish. And I do think he's going to be... I think he's capable of finding himself somewhere between... let's put it this way. If he doesn't win, I think he's going to get 3rd at worst. I think this is a tournament that's just going to play for him. And I want to say the Skins Challenge, because he wasn't invited to it, it might play a little bit better for him. I don't know, man. I feel pretty confident about Jordan Spieth. I like Rory and Justin Thomas just as much, and especially when they get to push each other. I think this year those two golfers are going to be... I mean, Rory was starting to get everything back in order from years past, where he was kind of, he was struggling with his irons, especially his wedges. And this last year, he played really well. Where I don't know. If he trends that way, I think he's going to do well. The only thing I don't like about Rory's game, for whatever reason, now I get it. He has a 48% clip of finding the top 10 in Bentgrass events. The only thing I don't like about Rory's game on Bentgrass is his putting. I think when the greens are super fast, it definitely benefits him, which I think the greens are going to be rolling like at an 11 or a 12, which is pretty average when it comes to the PGA. They're not slow. They might be a little slower than what some of these tour players are used to, but I don't know. Rory just has the firepower, but I think Thomas has the complete game right now. Boy, those two are hard. Okay, it's a coin flip. Who cares, right? Choose one or both or whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't think you're gonna go wrong. You have a lot of good options here. Like, all of the top guys have super good Bentgrass stats. And maybe you make the argument like, I'd rather have 48% than 24%. I'd rather have this 14.29 than this 41 point or the 21.8. Or you might say, I want this 23.18 over this 34.92. And then you have a Hideki right below with just as good of stats, but overall better, right? I don't know. Completely up to you. I like Jordan Spieth, like I said. Let's go ahead. Let's start creating some lineups. I didn't want to make this video too long. We're at 26 minutes, which is totally fine. But I do want to make it a little faster than usual. So what we're going to do, look at the golfers that I have starred, and we're going to create lineups based off of that. So pull up the lineup construction page just to get it ready. And in all honesty, I'm just going to go ahead and copy some of these golfers. So we'll go with like the 40 lineup model once again. So for me, I want to play JT in 30% of those lineups. So I'm honestly, it's going to be around 30%. So we'll put like, I just don't know if I want to overextend. I'm going to put 12 lineups. I know that's not quite 30%, but I don't want to overreach. I'm going to do that right there. Plus, I'm going to probably add Justin Thomas to some of these Rory lineups and vice versa. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put Rory in 9 lineups and then pair him with JT in 1. 6,600, that's not bad. There's some golfers I like down there. I think I can get 4. That it's going to be just fine. So I'm going to do 2. There we go. So now Rory's in 11 lineups. But out of these 2, I've only created 21 lineups. So Hideki, I will put in nearly the same amount, 9. Yeah, that's fine. And then Hideki, I will pair up with Justin once and Rory once. I'll put him in with Rory twice. So that is 9, 10, 11, 12. Rory's in 9, 10, 11. Do I like that? Let's put Rory in 12 lineups and Hideki in 11. Or 10. 11. Yeah, he's in 11. Sure. Yep. Nope. We'll go with it. So now I have 10 lineups left, and I'm honestly going to create. All right. So Xander, I'm going to put in like 4 all by himself. I'm going to pair him up in here, so don't worry. So I'll put Xander there, and Xander here. Jordo, I am going to put in. I'll put him in the rest. That's how confident I feel about Jordan's game. And I'm gonna throw him up here with these guys as well. I don't know. Yeah, sure. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to find some golfers down here that I like. So I obviously have not marked that many down here. I think some of these golfers down here, I'm just going to go ahead and X out because I know I don't care about most of these golfers. So the reason why I'm Xing out, which looks like a bunch of Japanese golfers, I just don't think under the scope, the severity of these PGA players. I mean, it's like if you had an exhibition game with a D1 college, let's say Duke. Duke went and played the Charlotte Hornets. I think they're the Hornets now, right? Yeah. They wouldn't play the Charlotte Hornets. Not the greatest team right now, but they're still an NBA team. It's always like that argument that you have, like, a D1 school would never ever keep up with an NBA team, and then you get some of those guys like, well, yeah, that NBA team is awful. Like, a LeBron-less Cleveland Cavaliers team in the past, it's like they wouldn't be able to beat Duke. Yeah, no, they would beat Duke. And I feel the same way with these PGA players. Like, I don't think a lot of these Japanese golfers really hold a candle to the PGA players. So that's why I'm going to X out some of those guys. And why I'm not Xing out Max Homa, which I know some of you guys are like, well, he's probably not that good. I guess I've been able to see his golf swing. I know he has a really good golf swing. And I think it's kind of up there with Adam Long, where they're kind of, B tier golfers that have really good golf swings. Very consistent golf swings, but it's all about the short game, and I don't know if any of those guys really have the greatest of short games. But I'm probably not going to play Max Homa for the mere fact that he did not play well last week. But I'm not going to X him out. Okay. That was more than we needed. I don't mind Adam Schenk. So Rio I like. We might play some Sung Kang. So there's Keith Mitchell with 12%. Bentgrass, top 10s. Sure. Same with Adam Schenk. So he also has 12% inside the top 10 of Bentgrass events. There's Ishikawa, Lashley. Oh, Damon, of course. And maybe some Keegan. Okay. So now we have kind of a list of golfers that we like down here. So what I'm going to do actually, I wanted to, it's fine. We'll do this. We'll go Adam Schenk. Put him here. And this is, you've seen me do this before. So this shouldn't be any surprise to you guys. Where I'm going to, you know what? I'll just include Lashley. Just to make this a little bit simpler, a little bit easier. I'm actually going to put Lashley down here. Put Rio there, and then just remove him. Because I'm going to play these guys a bit more than the other guys. So honestly, like all of these guys here, I like. Okay. Wyndham Clark, 15% Bentgrass. I would like to pair this up with Approach, most likely, or Tee to Green. And none of that really applies, but he has a good birdie or better percentage. 26.11. Yeah, you guys can see that. So that's his birdie or better. It's pretty darn good. His proximity isn't very good. That actually might be a good recipe for success at a tournament with no cut. I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone. There's Fratelli also. And Fratelli, I mean, he's been hot this year, so might as well. And really, that's kind of it for low price guys. I do like Palmer, so I'll play some Palmer. Who did we have? It was all the P's, right? It was Palmer. Was it Palmer Piercy? No, Palmer. Don't remember. Why can't I think of it? It's all the P's. Putnam? No. All right, Palmer. Who are you playing with? Poulter and Poston. Okay. Okay. Anyways, we'll go ahead and throw Palmer in here with this group just because. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead because I like these guys. Oh man, I didn't mean to put them right there. I meant to put them at the top. So go ahead and do that. Oh man, who else do I want to put here? I'm sorry this is taking a little bit of time to do, but at least you guys can kind of get involved with how I kind of put this together. Yep, nope, we're gonna keep it like that. So now I'm gonna do this twice, and then I'm gonna add Lashley here at the bottom. So this just means I'm playing these other guys double the amount of times I'm playing like someone like Lashley. And now I'm gonna add some of the other guys in, like CT Pan. Sure, I'll play one lineup of Kevin Tway. I don't necessarily care. We didn't play any Adam Long. I'll throw some Adam Long in there. I don't think we put any Siwoo in there. I do like Siwoo, and who was he playing with again? It was like a dynamite group, right? Pat Perez and CT Pan. Okay. To know. Oh yeah. So we did like Poston because of Palmer. So really what I'd want to do is do something like this. You know, put Poston with Palmer right away. So I might... You know what? I'm going to put them here and just try to remember that the 3 Ps are together. Wyndham Clark, so all 3 of those guys, you know, they're all decent. So we'll do that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here, go all the way down to 40. Because I have like 10 spots left, and I want to make it pretty inconsistent. Or not inconsistent. Yeah, inconsistent. So I don't want... So I'm going to do that randomized range and just throw them all over the place. And then I'm just going to probably plug some players in when I can. Yeah. That's what I'll do. Okay, so now we'll find some guys kind of, you know, middle priced or whatever. Throw them over here that we like. Don't know why. Oh. Matthew Wolf we like. I like Corey Connors. I like those golfers. I don't really care about Rory Sabatini. Certainly don't care about Imahara. Lucas Glover is an interesting play. I mean, a lot of these guys are pretty interesting plays. Even Harold Varner. I'll play a little bit of Harold Varner just because. Sure. So we'll leave it at that. And I do want to keep these guys like 7-ish and down. So I am going, you know what? I like all of these guys right here. All of them. It's a good chunk of golfers there. And this is going to help me, you know, randomize this range so it's not like I am playing favorites, basically. Harold Varner. Did we put him in the other one? I don't think so. So we'll do that, and once again, we will also double that ownership. And then add some of the other guys down here, like Bubba Watson, Jason Kokrak, you know. I'm not convinced on any of these golfers, and this isn't going to be a tournament that I'm going to go all in on certain players, because I don't have last week, I don't have last year, I don't have recent form, I don't have course history, I don't have any of that. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to keep it like this, or go with this process. Put some Glover in there. Put some Ches. Did I not? Yeah, I did play Grillo. Sure, we'll put some Kisner in there as well. And honestly, I don't know if anyone else really, yeah, we're not going to. So I might actually have an, oh, no, we're a little too far. So again, we'll do the same thing that we did with that other range, and basically just randomize this once again. So there we go. Maybe one more time. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to basically plug and play some of these other golfers. I don't have any combos I'm looking for. I'm not positive exactly what I'm going to do with any of these lineups. I'm certainly not going to have, I don't think I'm going to have Glover in this lineup. So maybe I'll just, nope. Nope. No. Why is there one up at the top all the time? Leave it alone. Let it be blank. There we go. I'd rather it be blank and try to figure out who to put there than have it random for this time. So yeah, I'm being a little biased this time. But I'm going to end the video here. I don't like to go all in on lineups. And if you can't already tell, I have no idea how I'm going to create these lineups. It is pretty late. I might just be like, the hell with it. Just throw a bunch of players in there, randomize the ranges. Hopefully everybody fits in the salary, and then submit my lineups. You know, do the mass entry for submittal. It's a new year. I shouldn't say new year. It's a new tournament. So what are we supposed to do with that? Like, I don't know personally. I'm not sure exactly how to play this. I just think grass stats matter. I also think playing with certain players matter. I'm not sure with a limited field. Maybe we should just focus on birdie or better players with Bentgrass. And I guess I'll show you that. So how about this? We'll go ahead. Birdie or better percentage, very high. Looks like Speith is at the top. So let's go ahead and hide this so we can kind of fit everything on the same sheet. You can see that it's a little bit off. You know what? We don't need to see the color. There we go. All right, so Jordan Spieth leads the top up here. Great Bentgrass stats. Looks like Adam Hadwin and Ryan Palmer, 8,100, 6,900. Pretty darn good, especially for that price. And then Daniel Berger. So really, like, Berger and Palmer are fantastic prices. And then you also have Perez. So what was that? The P's? You have Perez and Palmer, your low price guys that have decent-ish Bentgrass stats, but really good birdie or better percentage. How are their approach? So Berger, not so great. Perez and Palmer, pretty decent. Yeah. It's pretty good. And then there's Dylan Fratelli down here, who is also top 20, playing really well. I mean, I think Fratelli has to be in a lot of these lineups. So that's that. Okay, fine. Let's do that. So it was Fratelli, Berger, Palmer. Let's see what those golfers get me on this top lineup. Berger and Palmer. Can I see any of those guys here? Berger. Well, I can just find them. So $6,600. What is that going to get me? what can I buy with $6,600? Wyndham Clark, if I was to go with this high price, lineup or whatever. What is a favorite that we had? I think there's a no-brainer that's not really coming to mind. I do like Joel Damon quite a bit. All right, I'll go by salary. Let me sort this by salary. So $6,600 or less. Joel Damon, Keith Mitchell. I bet it's Damon. Daniel Berger and Damon. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. So there you go. There's one lineup for you guys. Sure, plug it in. Do whatever you want. Actually, I really like that lineup. To be honest, it's pretty level for last week's stats. Rory and Daniel Berger didn't play. Joel Damon and Dylan Fratelli, I think this would show they got 40th or worse. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Fratelli, yep, 40 to 60 last week. I didn't even think Fratelli played, so whatever. Works for me. All right, guys, 46 minutes. We're done. I'm going to call her quits right there. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope you guys do well. And I will see you during the review video where we might have a little bit more information on this tournament and how it played out. All right, see you later.